it wasn't that bad. It wasn't bad. It's like me arguing with my woman about, I can't bring her to work because I got to blah, 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 blah. And then realizing it wasn't bad, you know. I want to put this clearly. There's this thing where when you work and your career takes care of your household, but how to balance your household and your family and putting your family first. I've always put my work because I grew up with nothing, so work had to be this and that. But the moment I took my child to work with me, it wasn't bad. It was amazing. And he walked around. It was an Interscope building. We met Jimmy Iovine, Ron Fair, Dr. Dre's in a fucking other room or whatever. And my kid's like a baby. So when he got older and a teenager, I took him to see the NWA movie. Yeah. And I go, yo, you was in the office with this guy and this guy and this guy. And my son,
like I was.
It's like I was. And that was the moment.
Right. I was getting ready to say that too when you mentioned it at the beginning.
So your work habit could be a driving force to take care of your family, but just be careful and balance it. And it's tough. And not to give excuses, but for black men,
no.
It's really tough for black males sometimes. You know, it's so much against us, and for you women, it's more harder. But black males, we deal with our own insecurities and how to provide for family. The pressure of going, I gotta make money. I'm supposed to be, quote unquote, the male that provides for the family. Mm-hmm. Where you have a woman that's like, yo, I'm in it with you, right? But society says, yo, this is what we're supposed to do and how we're supposed to do it. And then there's things against us. And it's a weird thing. It's a weird dynamic. And finding a woman that gets it and understands is beautiful. Mm-hmm. But sometimes we don't even listen when they do understand us. Mm-hmm. You see what I'm saying?
Yes, like, that's true. Because I get what you're saying, too.
Yeah. And I'm Batman, but
no, I get what you're saying. And I want to cut in on that. Sorry. Because I feel the same way about that. You know, I feel like, yes, we already put this weight on this man when they come into a relationship with us saying, you're the king of the castle. Yeah. You know, this is what you do. You the rock, you this, you that. So I get that part too, but it's also confusing for me as an individual, as a single parent. I'm going to say as a single parent, because we even have single fathers who go into this too. Yeah. But as a woman, single parent and a woman on this point of view.
Yeah, because you raise your kids.
Right, yeah. I get it too, because at the same time, I also have said in my mind that, yes, I want this man to be, because I still feel like that. I still feel like, yeah, I want this man to be my rock, to be my, you know, help me be part of that foundation. He's the it. He's, you know. Yeah. But I'm also so used to making sure that I prepare myself to stay the it too. Yeah. Because I'm so used to being that, you know? So it's like
it's a fun, how do you...
it's confusing for me like that in that area.
Oh, Shanae says that learning how to provide, be a protector, lover, vulnerable is a challenge for men, for sure. Yeah, it's I'm going to tell you where it is to Shanae, more of a challenge. Someone else said something, let me see what they said. I have children, yet, this is Jerome, I have children, but man of a single mother, dad left, later passed. Promised myself as long as I continue to let God lead, I will be okay. Here's the thing, and shout out to Jerome, shout out to Shanae. Here's the interesting thing, and what she's saying, and what Shanae's saying, what Jerome's saying. It's I think in this day and age where people think it's like sexist or it's offensive to, I feel like, so I'm gonna look at it in the music aspect. As a producer, sometimes you gotta play a position, right? It sounds fucked up. You can't say, in modern age, you can't say, as a man or woman, you gotta play a position. It sounds fucking sexist. I don't mean it that way. I mean, sometimes there are parties that want to feel how they feel and play that role and be commended for that role, right? Like, I remember
Right.
Building. I've never was too good with my hands and good with them now. But I remember building something for my son. I don't watch sports. Not a big deal to me. Boxing, that's different because I box. But I remember having my son and I go, I'm going to watch every fucking sport while he's a kid because I don't want to deprive him of sports because I don't want to watch them. And then his mother seeing that going, well, you don't watch sports. But saying, all right, this is where it sounds, quote unquote, I want to play the man position. I know that sounds fucking sexist, but I want to play the position of this male figure that likes sports or whatever because I don't want to deprive my son of it. It sounds fucked up, but it's kind of hard to explain. Also, I'll give another example. I love to cook. I think I can be married or whatever. I think I cook better than any woman in the kitchen. That's just me, right? But I remember getting upset with a woman cooking for me. It had nothing to do with playing a position of being a woman. It's just like, for this moment, I want to cook for you. This is what I want to do. And all I did was like judge how she's cooking and you're not supposed to do that. But for that moment, she wanted to play a role for me. Yeah. All right? And sometimes I want to play a role for her. This is going to come off crazy. Like, you have to be careful now in today's society to say shit like this.
Go ahead, man.
But sometimes we all have this moment where it's not a sexist thing. It's not about a guy being a guy, a woman being a woman, who's taking the lead and who's not. It's being human, and then sometimes going, this is what I wanted to do to show, I thought, how I pictured myself as a father, being able to fix stuff and show my kids sports. And I don't watch them. I don't care much for them. But I wouldn't deprive him of it because he's a young man. Again, it's a fine line. So also, I did not notice that I was neglecting the woman, my partner's idea of what her place is in our relationship. That doesn't mean her place is to be the blah, 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 stereotypical, whatever.
I get what you're saying. Mm-hmm.
Whatever she felt to fulfill us in a relationship in her place, I neglected it because I go, why are you doing this? Why are you doing that? And I was judgmental with her like she was judgmental with me. And I started realizing, oh shit, man, everybody sometimes want to play some type of role in
They
part.
do, yes.
Even subconsciously, if they don't know it, they kind of do, right? Even if I'm like, I'm so for my sisters and women, all that, sometimes I want to do the masculine, blah, blah, blah. It happens. We can't help it. But I don't want anybody to get offended by this. I'm telling you, it's so touchy.
No, this is good. This is what that's what I love about that's JAPT'A.
So you sometimes got to, and more with men, not with women. I'm saying this for a reason. With men, sometimes you got to let them. Men have it more of an issue than women don't have that issue. Women's like, yo, I can do what you do, I can do, and y'all can't. Mm-hmm. But men, sometimes we can't help it. We get to a point where like, I need to be a man in this role. I got to do this because it's what we were taught, right? And sometimes it sounds fucked up, but you got to let them do it. You got to let them do it. That's where you want to be right or be happy. Touchy subject, I know. Don't curse me out later after you see this, because trust me, people are going to be like, what do you mean? Well, it's not trying to be sexist in any way, but it's, men, we have an ego problem, and we need to work on that.
Yeah.
But sometimes you got to let them play that part, man. If you take away that from them, you take away the masculinity of what they figured a man figure and father figure is supposed to be.
Yeah, and I'm gonna say that. No. This is good. I'm listening, Brett, and I like what you say there because I'm gonna give an example of, to me, what I think you mean on that in one certain situation. For example, you have a man who's going through some crazy shit, You know what I'm saying? And emotionally, they just going through something, you know, and they have a woman who's so interested in them, who cares about them, who just wants to be there, who just wants to be around them, who just wants to be there. And yeah, they might be, you know, they might not be, they might be kind of fresh to their life too, you know, and maybe never experienced that before. But because they are this man and they have this mentality of, oh, I'm good, I'm strong, I'm tough, and I'm not, you know, I'm not gonna, you know, whatever, you know, I just want her to know, yeah, I'm thinking about you, but I'm good, you know, you know. That, to me, plays a part in what you're saying, because sometimes you have to just let the woman do it.
Yeah.
Because you never know what you're bringing in.
Yeah.
You know? So I agree with that to that extent. Like, just let me do it. Let me show you that I'm not who you think I am.
So if you guys, so here's the thing though. If you guys ever meet a man, let me see what Shami's saying.
Yeah, that's saying a lot
the
of
beauty in this is that most do this because you want to make them happy. We're trying to be what we think we need. Ooh, that's a nice line.
Yeah.
But true sacrifice is letting them be them. Okay, so yes.
Yes, cuz.
So here's the thing, like, it's not always good, like, trust me, but I know men that will, and I've been like that, will, if they're not working or doing something, they'll pull in the driveway and won't go in the house, and then pull off and drive some more just to make themselves seem busy, even if they're off work or they lost a job. I know men that if they lost their job, if they sleep at home and they're on the couch, after a while, they'll go out and just figure out something to do just so when they come back home, they don't seem like a lazy asshole, right? Listen, that's our pride, right? That's not a good thing. What I'm saying is sometimes if you let the guy fear is,
I gotta hear this.
the fear is not being able to be what society deemed us as being able to provide.
Okay, yeah, I agree with that with society.
Right.
Yes, totally.
So it doesn't make it right. But what I'm saying is,
right, true.
It's how we're taught, right? And now you have this new version of society, which is supposed to be, a woman's like, yo, I don't need you to provide for myself, right? Mm-hmm. But for men, for his ego, and it's not right all the time, but it's going to be, it exists. I wish people would understand this without being judgmental. This ego exists for most men. But it's not a bad thing. You don't want a guy, listen, you don't want a guy that's like, I don't give a fuck. If, okay, I'm not working and you're cool with it, then I'm chilling.
This is true. That's so true.
You want a guy that...
Because I don't want you like that. I don't want you to want me like that either.
You want a man that feels there's a problem with this situation. That feels like, oh shit, I'm not doing what I'm supposed to do.
1,000% true.
And I know you want to go, no, baby, I got this and we got this. The moment a guy is comfortable with saying, I'm good, and you got it. You don't want that motherfucker. Trust me. You want a guy that has that issue of saying, I'm sitting on this couch too long. I know I got laid off. I know this is happening, but I got to fucking figure out something.
Moves.
I got to make some moves. And then he might be a dick about it, but that means he means more about providing for his family. When he's a dick about it, it's not right, but that means he means so much more about, like, I got to bring it in for the family. I got to fucking do it. And now I'm a dick. Now here's where men fuck up. Men fuck up because we don't explain and talk about
communication.
We don't communicate when things are bad for us.
Yes.
But now you got to understand the dynamic. We're in a tough situation. Because no matter how much a person says, talk to me, you say too much, there's some judgment of weakness, right? We have this borderline, we have to be careful of that. Not all women, but for most parts, with some women, if we say too much, then we come off as weak. We say too little, then we come off as stubborn and into our shit. Finding that balance is where men fuck up at. We just fuck up.
Yeah, I was getting ready to say, like, because how do you work that out? I mean,
you don't.
Even with people who've been married for like look at what Sinead was talking about, 26 years. Like, how in the world? Some people 30 years, 40 years. Like, I know what you're saying because it happens because we're human. Like who?
Oh, let's see what she wait. She just said every man needs to feel needed. I don't want no nigga comfortable being mediocre.
Right.
Yeah,
no mediocre. Right.
Yo. So, and that's the thing, right? So
yeah. Mm-hmm.
But so I'm gonna tell you the challenge, especially with black men. The challenge is, yeah, we do want to feel somewhat needed.
Yeah.
The challenge is, I remember things getting low for me, and I'm still providing for the house, whatever. But now, I'm not speaking to my woman because my focus is just like trying to figure out how to make money. But you know what the woman's thinking? It has nothing to do with finances. It's like, who the fuck is he fucking? Because he ain't talking to me.
Right.
That's the first place it goes. And I'm like, it has nothing to do with that. I'm just trying to figure out how the fuck am I going to get the next check. And she has a right to feel that way because I'm not communicating with her. Yeah. I'm not telling her, yo, I'm not upset with you because of you and our intimacy. I'm upset because I'm trying to figure out how to get the next check.
Right.
But then she has a right to be upset.
Facts. Right.
It's so weird. Guys have to figure this out. It's very tough. But ladies, it's very tough for us. We have to figure out how
Just talk to me.
It's like
that's what we say, right?
We have to figure out how to talk, but not come off as weak. And that's something about black men. It's just a hard thing. Like I'm single for the simple fact because my money fluctuates here and there, blah blah blah. And I'm used to being. I've seen my sisters, my cousin who's on here now, who's taking care of her family. My sister take care of her family. These are women that take care of everything. I'm used to whenever I was in a relationship and anyone that date me, you could ask them, I took care of every fucking thing. That don't make it right. Now I want to have a relationship where I can share. But my mentality is I've seen these women go through what they went through, and I would never let any woman go through that. So the fucked up part about me, now I don't be in relationships because I'm like, I'm not where I want to be. And I don't want to.
He's stubborn even like that with us. If he's not where he wants to be, then he doesn't even, he's like, okay, yes, sis, just make sure you're good. I love you. That's it, But he's like that. He's so stubborn when it comes to women and him being not where he want to be. We just move on to
So it's weird. It's weird. And I'll stop babbling. Shanae, I love you. And everybody's chiming in, my sis, but and I'll stop babbling. But give you guys a little leeway. Give them a little break because we're scared. That's all it is. We're men. We're scared. And black men, let me tell you, more scared. And I'm sorry, but
no. Go ahead. Let that out.
We should communicate more, so a woman can understand. It's like when we're going through what we're going through, it has nothing to do with running around or doing this or doing that. Literally, a man's number one problem isn't what people think it is. It's usually, it has a lot to do with finances. That's literally the number one cause of all men. Black men, their problems is finances. It causes them to cheat. It causes them to do dumb shit. It causes them to lie. It causes them to steal. It causes them to do a lot of shit. Is literally finances and being afraid to talk to their woman and saying, yo, we ain't got it right now. I'm working it out. And keeping that lead as the quote-unquote male figure. A lot of it stems from finances. So, and it's the last thing. Lesson.
Yeah, because you got some good stuff. I gotta make my point of view on this now.
Well, cut dropped the line. She should have dropped the line.
So go ahead. We talk about the point cross. Go ahead.
Last line I'm gonna say.
Last line coming in.
The most pivotal point in a relationship is creativity. I don't care if you're a musician, fry cook, fucking person that works at a desk. Creativity will keep your relationship lasting longer than it should, right? Creativity, even if you're a man without finances, if you're creative enough, you'll find out another dynamic and way to make more money. If you're creative enough, you find out another way and dynamic to love your woman. If you're creative enough, you find another way to spend time with your kids and do that. Creativity This is why it's so important to me if I date a person. It's like, oh, are they creative? People are like, oh, you think they got to be musician or artist? It's like, no, just be creative. Because life is short. We spend time with the people we love. We spend so much time with them, and we will get bored. But when they're creative, they'll figure out new ways to love you.
That's right.
New ways to make money.
Right.
New ways to keep their job. Creativity is the #1 thing I think people should look for. All right, now I'm done.
No, I agree with that. No, and I just wanted to say from a woman's point of view, when you say, I get that as a, well, I don't get it because I'm not a man, but I get what I understand. Should I say that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I should say that, right? I understand what you're saying as a man, but as a woman, just like as a man, you voiced your point of view on how men feel, why they feel that way. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, now my side as a woman, why I feel like, I know that sometimes, like you said, it's a trust issue, but women have it too.
Yeah.
And women we have a trust issue, but yeah, we are much more vulnerable. We are much more easy to forgive, easy to, but because of that purpose, when you have a woman who is on your side, regardless of how you may feel as that man with your pride, why not, if you know this, why not, in other words, I'm not saying why not, but I'm just saying, like, as a, if you recognize that in that woman who's trying to allow you to open up to her, to give your all to her, whether it's your tears, whether it's your frustration, because this is your partner, this is your life. I'm speaking on the life companion, first of all, but it still has to start from somewhere, though, still, before the life companion even happens. So at a certain point, if you're still with this person and you're recognizing the genuineness of her as this woman, and you know what this woman is supposed to provide for you, the woman isn't awesome. God made her a creator. She creates children. She creates human beings. I mean, of course, you're a part of that. But she's the one who bears them. She's the one who brings them out to the world, who brings, so she's the creator. She's a nurturer. She has that strength, whether it's pain, whether it's suffering, whether it's, you know what I'm saying? So when you actually see, because I know there's some women out there who like to pretend like they're genuine. But when you can actually see, and you've had that experience with this woman, and sometimes it may be short term, sometimes it could be long term, but you can kind of sense that sometimes, I just feel like, allow her to do that for you. Allow her to be the one that you can open up to.
Here's the problem with that. The problem with that is there's a human characteristic in all of us. Mm-hmm. There's also, I always deal back, especially to the black man, and how we grew up.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry,
she said women need to feel emotionally safe. Talk to me so I can support what you're doing. Yes. Thank you.
Shanae's right. So, and you're right. You guys say the same thing. But I'm gonna tell you why men don't do this. They do it to a certain extent. There is a fear because there's a there's an animalistic characteristic in each human being. The most trustworthy person in the world, you can give them all your secrets, but subconsciously they're still going to judge you. I don't give a fuck who you love.
I understand what you're saying.
I mean,
that's real.
Who you love, they're going to judge you subconsciously. That's all the way right? And people can't help it. It's just a natural thing, right? Like, after a while, if your man is like, I got his back. He's not working, but I got his back. I got his back. After a while, you can't help to go, but okay, nigga, you sit on his couch fucking too long. Right? You can't help it. And a man thinks about this 24/7. They think, oh, I will die for this woman and she'll die for me. But after a while, if I'm doing this for too long, she's going to go, motherfucker, what's going on with you? And you should. You're supposed to. That's called instinct. That's like your natural instincts kicking in. But for men, it's very bad. We're worse at it, right? You can trust. Okay, this is the crazy advice. Shani, this is so crazy. Check this out.
That's real. Oh, yeah. We love it too. This is awesome.
My dad, I love him to death, but kind of an ass. But this is the worst and best advice he ever gave me. Yeah. He said,
Crazy, mean ass.
He tells me, I'm 12 years old, and he goes to me, son, who's the best woman on this earth to you? And most young males will say their mother or their sister. They go, oh, my mother. Right. But most guys, so I ask people, I go, who's the best woman on this earth to you? And they have to think about it for a while. I was like, oh, I don't know. And they go, oh, yeah, my mother. And my dad goes, now ask your father about her. Think about that for a minute.
Hold up. What you mean?
Think about that for a minute. My father tells me, as a 12-year-old kid, the best and worst advice he ever gave me. He goes, son, who's the best woman on this earth to you? Knowing as a child, I'm going, I don't know. Oh, my mother. And then he goes, now ask your father about her. Now, it was cold, but I got what he was trying to say.
Right. I get it.
He knows that individual more than you think I know. Like, I was born a certain time, but he known this woman, right? His perspective might be
yes. No, that's real.
Up, but he knows her more than I do. So my point is, we all like have every individual. We can trust a person as much as we can, but it's subconsciously everyone has their doubts and things. So men, I went off scale a little bit, but your last thing you were saying is why can't a man trust a woman, accept this?
They see, they know.
A real man ain't gonna always, he's gonna accept it, but he's not gonna let you fully go through with it. A real man is gonna have a hard time facing the fact that his woman is going through this. A real man. You want that, trust me. A real man's gonna have a hard time trying to figure out, no matter if this woman loves me and I told her every dark secret or whatever, she's gonna be like, what the fuck? And she's gonna be like, well, how are we gonna handle this and do that? And he don't want her to have that burden on her.
I get that. I get that.
Real man.
I get that.
Every man will always, it's a human natural characteristic to go, people will love you and trust you to a certain point. Now you have to prove yourself. You want a man that has a problem. You want a man that's sick and has a problem that goes, after a while, I'm not doing much. And then and you go, why is he depressed? Why is he this and that? You want a man that's like that because he's like, fuck, I'm not doing enough. Even though you got his back to the end of the road. He knows you do. But he also knows in his head it shouldn't be that way. I got to lift the burden from her.
I get it.
And he's going to battle with it.
Yeah. So it's like, it's so crazy because in what it looks like to me is the man wants the woman to not have to bear the burden, and the woman doesn't want the man to have to bear it either.
Yes.
And
but society teaches us.
That's deep.
Society teaches us the man is supposed to carry more and more. And then even in society now, where a woman is doing most of the shit now, they're still like, it's still like, yeah, but you ain't opening the door, or you ain't doing this, and I want to pay half the bills, but why you ain't doing this? So it's like, oh shit, there's still a stigma. A stigma still exists.
I know, you're right. It does. But I still feel like that goes both ways, though.
Yeah, it does. Well, let me see what Shana does that.
We got to get off too after this one. We got to hear this last one.
You're right, Shana. You're right. Yeah, perception is a lot. And you know what? Perception is a lot.
Yes, it is.
Perception is a lot more based on the black community and black males and black women. Because y'all raise kids on your own as women. Most guys ain't always around. So the ones that are good, it's weird for the black community. The perception is so prominent in our conscious thinking.
It is. And it's difficult for a single woman to, when it comes to meeting different men and the perception that they give off too. It's just, oh man, it's a mess. But that's why you have to put your faith in in something. I put my faith in my guy, But you got to put your faith in something. You have to just stand still and just focus on you, and know what you deserve, and when that comes forth, know how to handle that when you recognize that it's real. You know what I'm saying? Other than that, that's all you can do. But that's a real perception, yes.
Well, we love y'all.
Love you guys, man. Some of that is self-imposed